This is Capital News at 9. My name is Yvonne Msemembo. First, the national news. A study presented during the 43rd Annual General Meeting of the Medical Association of Tanzania, MAT, in Dar es Salaam, has revealed that the country has only 70 pediatricians for its more than 20 million children, who account for 48% of its population. Our reporter, Robert Ocheng, has more details on the story.
Participants at the meeting, the Chief Medical Officer from the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Deo Mtasiwa, said the government and other stakeholders are working hard to reduce the child mortality rate so as to meet the Millennium Development Goals.
It was 99 to 58, 58 for the infant. From 99, it went down to 58. And the present assessment has shown that it has gone down from 58 to 51. And the target is going down to 48. So we'll soon touch base with the target in the Millennium Development Goals. For the infant, we call it infant mortality rate. That's death for children, for infants, per 1,000 live births.
The meeting called for deliberate measures to address the acute shortage of medical personnel by increasing the number of student enrollment in medical schools in the country and placing strong emphasis on the need to study science subjects in high schools.
Tanzania and the United Nations Agency for Education, Science and Culture, UNESCO, have signed an agreement of a plan to strengthen capacities for the reform of science, technology and innovation system in Tanzania. The plan, to be funded by Japan, was signed today by the Minister for Communications, Science and Technology, Professor Peter Msola, and the Director and Representative UNESCO Dar es Salaam Cluster Office. The ceremony was also attended by the Director of the Division of Policy for Sustainable Development of the Natural Science Sector of UNESCO Paris and Japanese Ambassador to Tanzania, Hiroshi Nakagawa.
His Excellency President Jakaya Mrishoki Creative Center requests to Mr. Koichiro Matsura of UNESCO to support the country in the reform and repositioning of its science, technology and innovation system to enable it to contribute more to the country's economic development. Capacity building in science and technology and innovation is crucial for Tanzania's economic development, especially in improving its economic competitiveness. I believe Japan as a leading nation in this area of science and technology.
It is my pleasure to take this opportunity to welcome you all to the signing ceremony of the Plan of Operations for the Japanese-funded Trust for building capacities for the management of the Tanzania science and technology system. Foremost, I would like to thank you all for taking your valuable time away from your workplaces and come here to witness this important occasion despite your busy schedules. This indeed is a testimony of your commitment towards invigorating the role of science, technology and innovation.
More than 100 people were killed and another 650 injured as a result of road accidents in Tabora region between June 2009 and June this year. Here is the report.
Commander Liberatus Barlos, there was an increase of 100 accidents compared to the previous period. He was speaking at a ceremony officiated by the Regional Commissioner, Mr. Abed Munyamusa, to launch the National Road Safety Week in the region. He said to reduce the accidents through public education, traffic police will continue with efforts to educate people on road safety use, particularly school children and the public at large.
A big percentage of workers in the city of Dar es Salaam do not work efficiently to achieve productivity because most of the time is lost while on transit to working places due to traffic jams caused by congestion of vehicles in the metropolitan city. Here is more on the story.
Dar es Salaam Regional Commissioner William Lukuvi, while laying a foundational stone for construction of tarmac roads in Kinondoni municipality as part of efforts to reduce congestion of vehicles by improving municipal roads in the city. At the ceremony, the Kinondoni Municipal Director, Rafael Nduguru, said construction of the 1.8-kilometer road from Kagera to Mburahati will cost nearly 1.7 billion shillings, and that his municipal council has allocated 4.4 billion shillings for internal tarmac roads in the district.
Villagers around the Ihefu Valley in Mbarali district in Mbeya region have been speaking on the hard life they face due to lack of farming land and other development activities after being evicted from their former areas bordering the valley. Here is more on the story.
Raised by the people of 20 villages around Ihefu Basin during a survey on their fate conducted by researchers from the University of Dar es Salaam, who asked the government to help improve their life. This includes connecting them to the national grid in order to get energy for various development activities and feel the importance of the removal from the valley, the source of water from Mtera and Kidatu dams, which provide hydropower to the national grid. On her part, Ms. Blandina Cheche, the officer responsible for poverty reduction and environment in the Vice President's office, under which the research was conducted, urged the people around Ihefu Valley to give correct information to be used in future government plans to avoid hardship to the people.
Kianyari ward residents in Musoma Rural District, Tamara region, have rejected the cattle dip project a day after Regional Commissioner Enos Mafuru and other district leaders visited the project. The move came after the residents established that it was a substandard dip and that the district council violated tender procedures. That is the end of the national news. Africa News follows after this short break. Welcome back, and on the African scene. As had been predicted, Rwanda's Paul Kagame has won another term in office. The official results gave him 93% win of the vote cast. Opponents have claimed he was aided by widespread oppression and violence. International observers have also voiced the concern about the fairness of the polls. The Ugandan Parliament has paid tribute to former President Godfrey Binaisa, applauding his contribution to development and growth of democracy in Uganda. Here is more on the story.
In a motion to pay tribute to the late Godfrey Lukongwa Binaisa, moved by the Prime Minister Professor Apollon Sibambi and seconded by the Leader of Opposition in Parliament, Maurice Ogenga Latigo, the MPs applauded the former head of state's contribution in the establishment of constitutionalism in the country. Aged 90, Binaisa passed away on Thursday last week at his residency in Makindye after a long illness. His body, that has been lying in state since Monday evening, will be taken to Namirembe Cathedral for prayers on Wednesday, after which he will be laid to rest at his ancestral grounds in Natete, Kampala. Born on the 30th of May 1920, Binaisa rose to become Uganda's first Attorney General in the post-colonial period. He later assumed office as president for only 10 months from June 1979 to May 1980. Okay.
The Muslim Council of Kenya has asked the country's government to request for the return of 3 Kenyans who are facing trial in Uganda for allegedly being involved in the bombing of a resort in Kampala that killed 76 people.
Extradition is there must be a request from the country that's requesting for the extradition, and the request must be brought to a court of law in this country. It has to be heard by a magistrate or by a judge, and after that they can make a decision whether there was enough evidence to allow that individual to be extradited to that country or not. So we don't know what the government has. But all what we are telling is the law does not give free hand to the government to arrest people from the street or from their homes, dump them on a plane and send them to a foreign country. Particularly after Kenyans overwhelmingly spoke and they said they don't want impunity and they want the constitution to be upheld.
And that is the end of the African news. Up next is the international news after a short break.